Hi everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I'm here on this Thursday afternoon with the Kit Day Thursday video. Now this is using my Gossamer Blue Life Pages kit from July 2016, and I purchased this when Gossamer Blue had a sale. I've never subscribed to their kits, but I did purchase this. I purchased a couple of their kits when they had their sale. I think they were like $10 a piece or something like that. So I got this one. And the very first thing I'm going to do, since this is the first layout I'm making with this kit, I'm actually going to lay out all of my supplies just to kind of get a visual of what came in the kit and what I have to work with, and also kind of just to get a feel for the products. That way I kind of know what type of photos I can use. Now I have an envelope sitting on my desk with photos enough for about 8 or 9 layouts, as you can see right here. I had 2 Project Life spreads, photos for those 2 Project Life spreads in that envelope, as well as some photos for 12 by 12 layouts. And the very first photos that I pulled out were from it's going to be the last page in that February section of my album, and it's a bunch of photos of us outside. And I thought, oh, that's perfect for this kit, because as you can see, the top left says hello sunshine, and you can't tell right now, but a lot of the stamps are sun related, and then a lot of the cards are kind of sunny day kind of type motifs as well. So I decided that right away, that as soon as I had pulled those out, that would be perfect for this. And I'm just trimming down my photos first. Now this is when I had printed and I had forgotten, or I was not able to actually print with the white border. I can't remember where I had ordered these photos from. And the 4x6 photos did not come with the white border like I normally order them. So I just trimmed those down to be able to use them and the pockets, and then I'm just kind of pairing up some 4x6 cards from the kit to go with those. Now, as you know, if you work with kits, usually there are a lot more 3x4 cards than there are 4x6 cards. And I am a scrapbooker that typically uses 4x6 cards. So this is going to most likely be the only Project Life layout that I will have with this kit that I'll be able to use 4x6 cards for the entire layout. So after I complete this layout, there are only 2 4x6 cards left. And so obviously the next one that I do, if I need 4 4x6 cards, I'm not going to have them. So I always like the first layout the best with the kit, because I really am able to pull as many things as possible from the kit without having to necessarily add a lot from my stash. Now, I am going to add a few things from my stash to complete this layout, and I'll go ahead and tell you what those are. I'm going to pull out a black and white washi tape, and that was to bring a darker element to a different part of the layout. And as I'm telling you the things that I'm adding to this kit, I am just trimming down my photos, rounding my corners on my 3x4 cards, and trimming down those cards as well, and just kind of getting some of the placement sorted out, because I have a few things that are not quite where they're going to end up being, such as this bird card, which fit with the sky photo. And in theory, the bird card is perfect for a sky photo, but it was just a little bit of a different blue. I have a lot of aqua on the layout, and that was more of a blue, like a sky blue kind of color. So I pulled that off the layout because it just didn't fit well, and I decided just to use this card that says rise. I think it says rise and shine, or rise shine, something like that. I didn't think that I would use it, and I wanted to have just a white border around that really pretty blue sky photo. And the sentiment on that card was in the center, so I could use it and have that nice crisp white border around that photo. So anyways, back to what I'm adding to this kit. The second thing that I'm adding is some ink to be able to use with my stamp set. And I pulled out the Hero Arts Mid-Tone Shadow Ink and Charcoal. I tried a couple of them because there is some black printing on that top right card, as well as my filler card there in the middle. And then I am going to add a couple more things on the bottom here, but the black just seemed too bold, and so I tried my different gray inks to see which one fit best, and the charcoal one worked the best. It's a darker gray. It's not a lighter gray, but it's not as bold as a black would be, obviously. I also pulled out my American Crafts Precision pen in 03 in the black ink, of course. And I'm going to use that for some of my journaling. I'm not going to do a lot of journaling because there wasn't really anything in particular that we were doing here other than just enjoying the wonderful weather. Now, these photos are from February, as I mentioned, and usually that is our snowiest month of the year. Not that we get that much snow, but it's definitely our snowiest month of the year typically. And to be able to have some wonderful, beautiful days where we can really spend outside in short sleeve shirts. And that top right photo, Kaylin's even in shorts, which is like, I'm sure like the next weekend we had an ice storm because that's how it is here. But I just took, these photos are all just some really nice outside photos. And so they fit really well with the sunny day kind of thing. And there's not much journaling. That's what I was going to say. There's not much journaling to do. Just a little bit of journaling, like what I'm writing right now says, enjoying some warm weather and the beautiful sunshine. So it's not really much of a story. It's just kind of saying what we're doing. Then I pulled out my Martha Stewart's flag punch that I got here recently. It's like the giant punch, but it has a couple different flag things where you can make a banner, and I just end up using the flag, the larger flag, which you'll see. I end up using that as a label kind of off the edge of one of my photos. And then I pulled out 2 items to use as embellishments. Now, all of the other things that I have pulled out of my stash have really been tools so far, with the exception of the washi tape that's really kind of an embellishment as well. But I did pull out some Tim Holtz Small Talk word stickers. And then I also pulled out some Sticko hearts. They're puffy heart stickers. And that was just to kind of play off the heart theme. So there's a very subtle heart theme going on the layout. This is where I'm testing out my inks to see which one I like the best. And I definitely like the charcoal one the best. That Memento London Fog one was definitely more of a light gray. I'm doing a little bit of stamping. One says click and one says photo op, and then I am going to take the same stamp set and stamp out a label here shortly, as well as the camera, and cut those out. Now, as I had mentioned, there are a lot of 3x4 cards in these kits typically, and not as many 4x6 cards, so I don't have a problem cutting up the 3x4 cards and using them as embellishments, because I know I'm going to run out of 4x6 cards extremely quickly. So if I can make my 3x4 cards be a little bit more multifunctional, I can kind of make the kit work a little bit differently for me. I'm not a huge fan of working with a kit and using up everything and only having 3x4 cards left. I kind of want to use everything together. So I don't want to use all of my stickers and all of my chipboard pieces on one layout, and then all I have left are 3x4 cards. So I really try to think a little bit outside the box and look at those to see what else I can do, such as this, like cutting out the label on the center of this card. Now, I'm really not a floral kind of person when it comes to especially not the realistic florals. I don't know why. I like more of the like, not cartoony, but I don't know, less realistic floral prints, and I just have a hard time using the more realistic one. So I knew I was not going to use that card. So the most useful thing on that card for me was the label, and then I'll even punch the flag banner that I mentioned out before. I'll punch that out of one of the pieces that I cut off from that card as well. So I wanted to use this Hello Sunshine wood veneer, and it had ripped when I had pulled the kit out the other day to look at. Just kind of preparing, trying to decide, okay, do I want to work with this kit yet? I ended up doing something else. I didn't end up working with the kit at the time, but I had ripped the wood veneer. It's such a delicate wood veneer, but Hello Sunshine was not going to fit anywhere on my layout, so I ended up just putting Hello Sun. I had to piece it back together, but Hello Sun. So it says, so right here, and I'm trying to decide, can I make the sunshine part work or not? And I don't. So it just says Hello Sun, and that fits right there kind of in the grassy portion of that photo. And as you could see, the grass here is like totally brown because it's the middle of winter. The top right photo is of a different place, and I think it's just a different type of grass, and it was that bright green color, but the other photos are from a different place, and it's a different type of grass. It's definitely more brown. It's definitely got the winter look to the grass. So I use that shine part of the wood veneer, maybe some other point in time. I'm not sure if I'll ever end up using it, but I made the wood veneer work for me where it just says hello sun. And I will put, if I don't use that shine part of the wood veneer as I work with the rest of this kit, it will definitely go in my stash. This is where I stamped that label out, and that's using the stamp set that came in the kit. I've been really trying to, this kit has a stamp set in it, so it was unnecessary, but I've been really trying to keep a stamp set on my desk at all times. That way, if I'm working with the kit or working with my stash kit or something like that that may not have a stamp set in it, I think my stash kit has a stamp set, but anyways, if I'm working on a project that doesn't have a stamp set, or if I'm looking for something to add, I am pulling out that stamp set that's just kind of hanging out on my desk to see if I can use it. And I rotate that stamp set every couple weeks. And like right now, I just put one up today, a stamp set up today that had been on my desk, which was a Felicity Jane stamp set, and I replaced it with like 4 other stamp sets. I think there were a few Gossamer Blue stamp sets and maybe a citrus twist stamp set, just to try to get more use out of those stamps. They're obviously not going to go bad, but I do want to try to use the things that I have in my collection and just kind of rotate through so I'm not always using the same thing over and over and over again. I pulled out those Snap Simple Story word stickers, but they're a gray font. It's definitely not a dark like black print, and the gray font was too light, so I ended up pulling out the Tim Holtz Small Talk word strips that I had talked about before, and I used that instead. And the sticker that I use on this one filler card, I only have one filler card on this spread, but on this one filler card says life is good, which is what I've kind of labeled this layout as. And then I am going to pull a couple more of those on a few other photos and cards just to kind of bring in that same element again. And I love using word stickers. I don't know, I just think they're fun. This one says just because, and then today is a good day, and then the one I just cut apart says don't forget to fly, and that's on the photo with Kaylin going on the slide. Those 2 3x4 cards are obviously a 4x6 card that was cut in half, and it's got my mom on one side in a tire swing, and then Kaylin coming down the slide on the other side. I thought about changing the orientation of the placement of my photos, but because I felt like the left side was very photo heavy and the right side was, but it has a lot more open space. But I don't like it. I like those 3 4x6 photos on the left column together because they're all from the same day, and then the other photos on the right column are from a different day, so I felt like it kind of messed up the look when I moved them. I've got primarily most of the layout done here. This is that flag punch that I had mentioned. It's a Martha Stewart Crafts flag punch, and I thought about putting a little bit of journaling, but I really don't have anything left to say, so I'm going to just kind of create an embellishment cluster. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone. An embellishment cluster instead. So I had mentioned earlier there is a very subtle heart theme going on here. So if you look on that top right photo, it has the card itself says right now, and it's got a small pinkish red heart in the top left corner. Then the sky photo has the wood veneer with a heart punch out. Then the filler card has a heart in the middle, and it just says love note. Then the Go See Do wood veneer down at the bottom on the photo of Kaylin, Ernest, and I has a heart punch out of it. So then, and then the chipboard piece on the bottom left photo has happy home, and then there's a little like outline of a heart on the door on that little home on the wood veneer piece, on the chipboard piece. So there's already a subtle heart theme going on, and so I am going to pull out some puffy heart stickers from the Sticko, and I just keep those in my little, I have a little envelope that's called like Little Bits, and so I put that in there, and that's also where I keep like my enamel dots. There we go. I knew there was something I needed to say. I keep my enamel dots in there too, but I'm just going through the kit first to see if there's anything else I wanted to add. And I thought about the sequins for a very brief moment, but I just didn't feel like the sequins fit well with this. So I'm kind of playing around with these puffy hearts, and the reason I pulled them out is because it has a couple different tones of pinks, and so they really fit with the colors, and then of course the white ones. And I really play around with where to put them because I don't want too many hearts. I already have a whole bunch of hearts on the right side of the layout. I don't want too many on the same right side, but I do want to kind of pull in a little bit of pink on certain cards. So I put a white heart on the photo with the slide, a white heart at the top next to Hello Sun, and then I put a pink heart on the bottom photo card just to bring in that pink down there as well, because there's no pink on that card really at all. So this finishes out this layout. I hope you have enjoyed watching this one. This was a really fun one to work with, kind of unexpected when I was pulling out the February photos. And then the very last thing is just this word strip, and it just says life was meant for a great adventure, and that's just of Kaylin running in the grass. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back soon. Bye guys.